Welcome to Amy's Table. Today I'm talking with Cyd Alper-Sedwick, and we're exploring how our homes shape our well-being, relationships, and daily experiences, and how small, intentional changes to our spaces can help us feel calmer, more energized, and more aligned with the life we want to live. If you've ever wanted your home to feel more peaceful, welcoming, and supportive, this conversation is for you. This is Amy's Table. Pull up a seat. Cyd, I am so happy to have a chance to talk to you again. It's been a long time since we've chatted. Your business is Full Circle Feng Shui and Life Design.
Yes.
And I have to ask you, when people hear that, do they immediately think, oh, she's all about moving furniture?
Absolutely. I get it. You know, if I had $100 for every time somebody says, oh, Feng Shui, that's moving furniture. And I immediately, the hackles go up.
I bet they do.
I think, no, there's so much more. Let me tell you all about it.
Well, tell me all about it. For the layperson, what is Feng Shui 101? And is it Feng, anything I want it to be?
I often say to people, I don't care how you pronounce it, but I always say Feng Shui.
Okay, Feng Shui.
Yes.
Feng Shui 101, what is it?
Feng Shui is not just about moving furniture. Feng Shui actually is about energy. And that's, bringing in the positive energy into the home, into the space, into the office, whatever the building is, and creating, without religious undertones in any way, what you're doing is creating a sacred, nurturing space for yourself. So it's very, very important to have that understanding that it's something that we can all do, but there are aspects of it that should not be played with. And that's why it's important to understand it is a science, and it's a very, very old, ancient tradition, but it's a lot of fun, and there's a huge difference can be made.
It's funny when you said it's an old, very old. Recently, I read something in the New York Times about the fact that scientists have discovered there's a third body system, and that's the interstitial. And everyone who has anything to do with alternative medicine let out a collective chuckle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just discovered that, folks?
Right.
Actually, look back at Chinese medicine or ancient medicines. I think the same is going to happen with Feng Shui, don't you?
Well, Feng Shui's been around here in Cincinnati for a long time, and I've really put it on the map, and that was an important thing for me to make sure that people understand about Feng Shui. To me, Feng Shui is breathing, it's oxygen, it's life itself, and I can never understand how anybody can buy a house, build a house, rent a house without checking the Feng Shui of the house, and that's the personality of the house. It's a living thing. Okay, so it's important to understand that we're talking about energy. We know that those of us that do a lot of alternative medicine, we understand energy. So it's as natural as breathing. So why not? So why do something that's going to be detrimental to your own welfare?
What is the first sign, if you are to walk into a home or an office or a space, that it is in need of an adjustment of its Feng Shui?
Yeah, it's a heavy, heavy energy. And if you're tuned into the energy, like coming into this beautiful space, you know instantly that there's a lot of very good energy around here.
Yeah.
But if I go into an office or a hospital or a church even, I've done all of those, cinema, would you believe? It's the energy that you walk into and you start developing a feeling and start listening to your own body. Because we also do Feng Shui of the body. And that's a very important factor. I know I keep saying important, but it's a very important factor to remember that as we are energy and we're part of the universe, we are connected to all the energy. The ducks on my pond, the trees on my little island, that's all energy. And that's all adding to the beauty of my own personal life.
So the key is to find the energy that adds. What are some of the things that drain energy that people may overlook or be unaware, and yet likely if they tuned in, They
Yeah.
would sense
They
it.
become aware of the feelings. If you're listening to your body, and people are beginning to listen to their bodies, our inner facilitator will never lie, cheat, or manipulate us. But we don't know how to remember to do that because we've forgotten. We were born with it. Everybody's born with positive energy, but we forget about it in order to survive. Our survival package is, I've got to do this, I've got to fit in here, I've got to wear this, I've got to look like this. That's all something that's going to be detrimental. But if we actually stop and listen to our inner facilitator, here they call it the gut, which I think is an ugly word, but if you actually listen to your inner facilitator and start developing it, it becomes more and more powerful. And then we create that power from the inner facilitator to the heart, finally to the brain, not the other way around. Okay?
I think that's so interesting. I've been reading about that the gut, though you don't care for that word, is our second brain, and you're actually maybe giving it higher billing.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, because we have all the information inside of us. We're born with all this wisdom, and Feng Shui is part of that wisdom, and it's tapping in to the Earth's energy. And as we tap into the Earth's energy, whether it's water or the sunshine or the wind or the earth, then we begin to feel better, and that's when our healing begins. We can bring that into our homes because everything in our homes, all our buildings, come from the earth. It's an amazing thing. People don't understand that a building is a living thing.
Right.
But that living thing, even when it's being built, there's energy, negative and positive energy, being built into that building. So the plumber comes along, has had a big fight with his wife, God forbid, but will happen. So all that negative energy goes into the plumbing of the brand new house. So my job is to come in and make sure all that negative energy is lifted up out of the house so that they can start with a clean sheet of paper.
So I want to back up really quickly, and then I want to jump right back to what you just said now. When you said everything comes from the earth, I don't remember when that actually hit me. I mean, I'm sure that we all know it as a fact if we stop and examine it. But everything you think about, stainless steel, aluminum, glass, it didn't get dropped from heaven.
Right.
It was extracted from the ground.
From the
and
earth.
It comes from eons of history, pre-human even, and it's created. And so I just want to really put a underline on that for people who are listening, that everything does come with some kind of energetic energy from the earth already.
Yes.
But now jumping forward, going back to drain and your example of the plumber, what are those things that are draining the energy in our home?
What's draining the energy from the home?
Or should I say draining the good energy
Well,
from our
I think
home?
a lot of it is the negative energy that we bring in. When you drive your car home through the city or on the freeway, then you're collecting up negative energy of all those drivers that have had a very tough day, okay? And they're going, and they're driving and dropping all this negative energy. When you drive home and pull your car into your garage and immediately shut the door, you're storing all that negative energy into your garage, and that's permeating up into your home.
How do we get rid of that?
Well, simple. There's thousands and thousands of cures. But one of the simplest things is to sit in the car for a few minutes, leave the door open for a little while, and allow the air to circulate, and then it will start to leave. The other thing is to put a crystal above your car, but don't attach
Hanging?
it to the motor, because one of my clients did that. She attached it to the motor, and when the garage door was clicked, bang, and there was a huge explosion with this crystal. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Tie it so it's freestanding, but also it'll absorb. That's what crystals do. They absorb all the negative energy.
So literally suspend it from the ceiling of your garage over your
you
car?
can do that.
See, I love this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love it not only because I believe in
Right.
all the practices that you teach and preach, but also the intention that comes with it. Now when you come in and you see the crystal, you're more apt to say, hey, I'm going to leave
Yeah.
any negative energy behind, which is part of bringing the whole body, mind, and spirit into
Absolutely.
the physical Feng Shui.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I've heard that about garages. They can be fraught with issues. And of course, if you almost go through the house like you go through the body, we have to start somewhere. Let's start at the entryway. What can we do to protect our home from harmful energy coming in and perhaps making sure negative energy also goes out?
All chi energy comes in through the front door. It doesn't matter if you always drive in and out through the garage and up into the kitchen. The front door is your mouth of chi, C-H-I-E, C-H-I, okay, mouth of chi. So having your front door, one of the wonderful things that you can do for an instant Feng Shui fix is to actually wash your front door and clear out all the dead leaves and the spider's webs and change the light bulbs and plant your new plants for the summer and that kind of thing. But washing your front door then allows the chi energy to come up to your front door because that's where it's going to enter, whether you use it or not. But on a weekly basis, you need to open that front door, step out, and then step back in again.
I love that.
So
you know why else that's
energy.
important? I have a very narrow entryway, and I come in through my garage most of the time and out. And one day, midsummer last year, I, for some reason, went out my front door, and it was covered in spiders' webs. And I thought, I look like I'm the haunted house. And actually, I think I have this lovely, bright, happy house. So it's like a reminder to keep these things moving, move along.
Yes, the chi needs to find you, and it can't find you through all the spiders' webs and the bugs and things like that. There's something really satisfying about washing your front door. Not power washing it, actually taking a big soapy sponge and give it a good clean.
Wash it by hand.
Yes.
Again, it's that intention.
That's right. Feng Shui is about intention. And it's also that very old-fashioned thing called common sense.
Which your friend the gut is probably sharing with you right and left.
Right.
Well, this is probably a topic for another day, but my entryway of my home is my least appealing part of my entire home.
And that's your career area.
Isn't that funny? So I can only imagine what would happen if I corrected that. Because I literally almost didn't buy my home because the entryway turned me off so strongly, and it still does. I'm not quite sure how to overcome it.
Well, I can certainly come and look at it for you. But if you step in through your front door, stand there. Just stand on the mat, and you need a black mat on the inside and the outside of your door. Black mat. Black is a very powerful Feng Shui color. Okay. So stand with your back to the front door and just look at that area, and that will give you a ton of information. And you can do that with every single room in the house. Just stand at the doorway and look and see what can I change.
And listen to your friend.
Yeah, and just feel the energy. Learn to listen to the energy.
My problem is it is the physical space, I think. It is a 2-story, straight up, very narrow, look up and it's very high. There's a basement door, a garage door, an elevator door. It's door. It's just horrid.
Yeah.
How
well,
do
there are little things that you can do. I'd have to see it, but you can also tie some little red things on the handles to separate them out so they don't clash. So if you've got doors that are opening on top of doors, there's a clash there, there's no flow of energy. And the whole idea is to have the energy flowing in a clockwise way around each of the floors. It doesn't matter if it's a small space or a giant house. I've done all of them. It really is the basic Bagua map and the cures that you put into place.
So anybody listening, you could apply it to the part of your home where you might have this same unharmonious, unflowing area like I do, unfortunately, with my... And I don't want to get out my tiny violin. I have a beautiful home. It's just the entryway.
Yes, yeah.
But so tie red ribbon, string...
Or Chinese cord.
And the
something like that.
coins or
Yes.
anything on them?
Coins, absolutely.
Around each doorknob? And
Yes.
that would,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, Cyd, I swear to God to you, I'm going to get a black mat for inside and out, and I'm going to get red cord with coins today.
Good.
I
I'm
love
delighted.
this.
And then let me know how it's working.
I will, for sure.
And also, color is very, very important. We start out with a Bagua map, and once we've created the Bagua map, each section of the Bagua map has its own designated color. So the color for Korea is blue and black or red and black. Okay. Wisdom, which is to the left of your front door, no matter how small it is wisdom, and that's blue. And then it moves up to family, which is green, and then up to wealth, which is blue, red, and purple. And then over to, is called fame, but it's actually integrity. And it's not what we think our integrity is, it's what the universe considers is your integrity.
So some of that letting go and letting it happen.
Letting go and allowing the colors.
The Bagua map, did I pronounce that properly, is something that always confuses me. And that's something I'm sure people could Google to find it. Is it on?
Well, I would rather people did not, and this is why, if you are really interested in helping yourself, don't just Google a Bagua map, because there are lots of aspects of the Bagua map that's actually got to fit into a certain section, and there are going to be lots of missing areas, especially in modern homes, because architects like to put a little flourish here and add a little bit there, and then that changes the Bagua map.
They've messed with the map.
Yeah, they mess with the map.
Well, so your entry is your career. And how about the bedroom? What are some simple feng shui cures that we can do that would make, I don't know if the bedroom is the relationship.
No, it depends where the bedroom is on the Bagua map.
Okay.
And the bedroom is a super sacred space along with the kitchen. The bedroom and the kitchen are two super sacred spaces, so need to be dealt with in a slightly different way. If you're fortunate enough to have your master bedroom in the relationship area of the Bagua map, that's perfect. Okay. But if not, then we can do some things about that. Your bed in the command position. That means that your bed is facing the doorway.
Right.
The colors are very important as well. Not having any electrical items around your head, which is very difficult today because people have phones and
I have lamps.
Lamps, but lamps are okay, but as long as you're not sleeping with them on.
No.
But what I recommend often in a bedroom is to have little boxes that you can put your phone into or your radio into, or turn the alarm clock away from you so you're not getting that wave of energy messing with your brain when you're sleeping, because sleep, as you know, is healing. But then again, if you're using a grounding blanket, then you've got electricity, but it's not doing anything but being beneficial for you.
I like so much of my very limited understanding of feng shui is things like put the electronics in a box. It is a beautiful marriage of intention and action.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's wonderful. So, okay, I'm going to put my phone in a box. I'm making a little ongoing list here. Kitchen is a sacred space. Tell me a little bit.
Kitchen is a super sacred space.
Super sacred.
The philosophy behind that is that in the master bedroom, there's procreation, all right? But if you can't afford to feed your children, this is where the kitchen is a very important second super sacred space. So the things about that is clearing all the cabinets off, having it as clear as possible. Make sure all the parts of the oven or the stove or the cooker, as we call it in England, works. If you need to put a mirror up to double up your potential of being able to feed your children. And things like, make sure that the fridge is not next to the cooker or the stove. And if it is, then you need to put a bowl of fresh fruit in between the two to break it up. Make sure that the view through the kitchen window is such, but also that if you're cooking, you're in the command position. So very often a microwave is above the stove, so that gives you an opportunity to see who's coming up behind you. So when we don't know who's coming up behind us, we're unconsciously aware that we have to be on guard. Cavemen did not sit with their backs to the cave door. They sat facing the cave door.
Right. Gosh, my cooktop has my back to the open space.
Right.
And it should be flipped around,
Right.
and there's no way for me to do that now.
Well, you
So
might
a little
be able
mirror.
put a mirror up.
And even if it's a symbolic mirror.
Yes.
I remember years ago, a friend who was involved in Feng Shui had said to me to put a teeny mirror at both ends of the room that reflected each other for unlimited potential, or
Right,
I'm forgetting
right.
it now. But
Yeah.
I'm just taken and charmed by these ideas that are highly symbolic.
Yes, they are.
But-
you know, if you have neighbors that you don't particularly enjoy, put a little mirror facing out towards the neighbors. They're not going to see it, but again, you're knocking back their negative energy.
Oh, I love all of these things.
That's amazing. There's thousands of them.
Yeah, I love it so much. Now, you've just brought this into your life as a way of being. It probably wasn't instant, but you've brought these into your life as a way of being. What are some of your favorite practices at home that bring you a sense of well-being, a sense of peace, and what are some of your favorites?
Well, I think one of my most favorite things are my daily rituals, and that's contemplation, sitting by water. That's very, very, very valuable to me. Grounding, you know, walking outside every single morning, no matter what the weather, if I can, with bare feet. Sometimes it's not so easy.
Yeah.
But those kinds of things, they get you started early in the morning, and then start planning the day. Do those things, just being in nature first thing in the morning.
I'm very inspired. I really
Oh,
am.
good. Okay.
I am. So if you'll finish this sentence for me as we wrap up today. The older I get, the more I realize.
I need simplicity.
So I bet that is, that means less clutter, less
Less clutter.
obligations, less.
Less furniture, less everything, less people.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Cyd, I have to tell you, the other day there was this beautiful day. We've had such lovely weather lately, and I was sitting on the deck at my place, and there was a breeze. I ended up getting myself a glass of wine. I sat there, and I just soaked in the fact that I couldn't remember the last time I would be entertained by a breeze and nothing but me and my thoughts
Yeah.
and a glass of wine.
Yeah, perfect.
It was
That's
perfect.
perfection. Simplicity personified, right?
I
Couldn't
love
get
it.
that word out.
I love it. Well, I'm going to have to check back in with you because we've only scratched the surface
Yes,
here.
we have, yes.
But I
We
love-
could talk for many hours
we
on this subject.
could, but I love these ideas, and I
thank
love
you.
your approach, and I'm so glad you came today. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
for having me. It was fun.
Thanks,
It's a
Cyd.
lot of fun.
Thanks for joining us today, and thanks to our sponsors too, Wow Window Boxes, High Street, and Jenny Simon Face. Please subscribe to Amy's Table and share this conversation with a friend. Follow along for more inspiration, gatherings, and everyday ideas from our community. Until next time, keep looking for the good, keep making room for connection, and remember, there's always a seat for you at Amy's Table.